Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gaby U Show. I am your host, Gaby Udabor. So, this is the premiere episode, the first episode of the Gaby U Show. I am so excited to finally be starting this podcast. And so, this podcast has been in my mind to start for some time. And here we are starting this podcast. So, this podcast, the goal for this podcast is that it's going to be empowering, inspiring women to be the very best they can. This podcast is a podcast that I hope you listening to it will be able to know that you are made for more, that you can overcome adversities, you can be victorious. This is my goal, that this is how you are going to be feeling when you listen to this podcast. So today I am starting here. I'm going to be sharing my own stories, but most of the episode will be that I will be inviting women from all walks of life to come share their own stories. They will be coming here to share their victories, their struggles, all those things that has made them, shaped them to be the woman they are today. So yes, I'll be having all these women coming to share their stories. So I'm going to be starting with myself today. I'll be sharing some things as well that maybe I haven't shared to a lot of people. Some things I will be sharing that I felt I had overcome to make me to be the woman today. I have shared some part of that story in my life with some few people, but I decided I'm going to share it today as we start this episode. It's not easy to share some part of that part of my history, but I felt that it's something that I need to share. Maybe it can help somebody out there and give somebody hope. And so I'll be sharing that as we go along. I will be sharing that. So let's start. Who is Gaby? No, I call this show the Gaby U. It's like Gaby U. What's Gaby U? Well, the U is my last name, Udabor. And my full name is Gabriella, but over time they just call me Gaby. So that is the origin of the name here. So for me, this is 2020 and I turned 40 this year. And so many things have happened to me getting to this age of 40, okay? I originally am from Nigeria, which is West Africa. Sometimes they will call Nigeria, what do you call it? The giant of Africa. But yes, I am originally from Nigeria, West Africa. I came here to America almost, I would say, 18 years ago. I came to America in 2002. So I got married in 2001. Right now, I do have 4 kids. 4 amazing kids and very loving, supportive husband. And I have 3 girls and a boy. So my journey, going through motherhood, career, all that stuff. There's been ups and downs, of course. As we know, the way life goes, it's not a straight line. So my first degree originally was microbiology. That is what I studied. Actually, it's food and industrial microbiology, which I graduated with a bachelor's in Nigeria before I came to America. So I would say that growing up in Nigeria, my parents were very supportive. They provided everything for us with my other siblings. And by the way, I have 3 siblings. I have 3 brothers. I'm the only girl and the baby of the house. And so I would say we were pretty well-to-do, I would say. If we want to put it in Nigerian standard, I would say we are a little bit more than middle class. That's where I will put myself. I believe I'll put myself in that level, that we're a little bit more than middle class. I mean, we weren't super rich, but I think we were pretty good. We're comfortable. My dad and mom, they were very successful in their careers. They were very there. And later on, they went into business, after they kind of retired and all that. So they were very supportive, and I believe they provided everything we need. I don't think we lacked anything. So for me, I was somebody that I would say was very smart, bright, outgoing, upbeat child. I guess I'm still am. And, my mom saw that in me, and she supported everything I wanted to do. It's even involved me that I had to skip some classes because I guess I was smart enough to skip those classes. And so I think I went through my school pretty fast. And I would say by the age of 16, I had finished high school and was getting ready to go into college. So although I said my first degree was microbiology, actually my first degree was science lab technology. So I would say I started as in a community college and then went into university to start to do bachelor's degree. So really science lab technology was my first degree, and I think I was about 16 when I got in. So went through all that, of course, fast forward, graduated from the microbiology, food and industrial microbiology, which was about the time I got married and started preparing to join my husband in America. And so coming to America, I thought I was going to study medicine, like go to medical school, but the way situation and, it's like, maybe I'll just go into nursing, because I already had my first kid that time. And so anyway, I started out going into started out as a CNA, certified nursing assistant, and then went into nursing, got my RN, my registered nursing, and then a year later again, went again ahead and got my master's in nursing and got my nurse practitioner, family nurse practitioner degree. That is how through that way. So, the things that I would say that has shaped me to be the woman I am today. will be my faith and the support I gotten from my parents to get me here. And of course, you know, when you get married, it changes a little bit. And then now getting that support from my husband. My parents are still supportive with me, for me. But the two things is faith and the great support from my family. The top, of course, is faith. And when I say faith, I'm talking about my Christian faith. I think that is one of the big things that has really shaped me to be the woman I am, to be able to go through those struggles I have gone through. And so I'm going to go back now to what I said in the beginning that I wanted to share. There were some things that I went through in my childhood, which I would say could have scarred me. But again, as I said, that faith has taken me through, and that support I got from my parents, especially my mom. Me and my mom were very close. Until today, we are still very close. So one thing that happened in my childhood that I would have scarred me, of course, it did affect me somehow, was that, as I mentioned, my parents, they were big in their doing well in their career. They were doing really good in their career. And of course, they were both working. And we did have a big poultry farm and of course, other things that needed to be done in the house. And so in the way it was that time, if you are able to afford it, you'll be able to hire house helps to be able to help in the house. And so my parents did hire house helps. But, you know, we always have one house help at a time. And so the thing that with this house help, and they were male house help that we had, the male house help, you know, they helped in the house with all the stuff when my parents are not at home and all that. So sometimes I am alone, or a lot of times I'm alone with the house help. And the thing that went through was that between the ages, I would say between the age of 9 to 11, I would say that at different times when we had different house help, I was sexually abused by this house help. And it was something that, you know, I finally reported it to my mom. And it was something that I know when I told my mom, she wondered why I did not tell her all this time. And I believe that the way, you know, these things happen, I was threatened, I would say, by this house help, you know, like, oh, if you tell your mom this was going to happen. And being a little child that time, you you get all this fear. And at the same time, I think I felt guilty, or felt like it was my fault, because I wondered why this happening to me. And, you know, you feel that maybe it's not happening to anybody else. And so when I told my mom about that, you know, I know she really felt down. It was something that she immediately, she's like, okay, we're going to go get you tested. And fortunately for me, I didn't have any infection. So physically, I would say I was fine. You know, over those times, I would say that my faith, even as a little kid, helped me through that process. It's something that I felt it would have scarred me, but it did not. Of course, I know it affected me in the way my relations with male, because it made me to have, I don't know, like a sixth sense, or made me to be very, suspicious of men or boys for a long time. I know when I was in college, not college, actually in high school, I didn't have any relationships or anything because I was just very suspicious of people, of the male population, so to speak. But during that time when this thing were happening, and I think, I just know that God was always on my side, even as little as I was. Because one of the things that broke that heart for me to say, like, I need to tell my mom what is going on. And I think, as I said, I'm very big, I'm a woman of faith, and I believe God directed me to do this because I needed to speak up. I remember I was, reading newspaper. You would think that how a little kid would read a newspaper, but I was somebody that I was very curious, and I, read stuff. And I was reading this section of the paper, and I saw a section where people would tell their stories, and this woman would advise them on what to do. And I was like, maybe I could write my own story. So I went ahead and wrote my story, submitted it, put my name as anonymous, and waited patiently till this thing was published. And so the lady answered to my story. She advised me what to do and told me, like, you need to tell your mom what is going on and all that. It will be for your own good. She was very comforting, and so that gives me the boldness. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell my mom, and it will be better I tell my mom, which is what she advised me in that column of the paper there. And that's how I reported my mom. And till today, I think it's God that helped me through my faith. And as I said, through those times when those things happened, in this time and age, if such thing happen, we will take that child to therapy. I know that time in Nigeria, or those many years ago, it's not something people think about, to go to therapy or counseling. It's not something that comes to people's mind. So I know with me, I got deep into church stuff, which I know helped me a lot. I think that was my therapy. I was involved in a lot of church activities and all that. And of course, I, got a lot of support from my mom and all that. And that took me through that. Of course, when now married, I have done some therapy just to help me with life and different things. And probably shared some of that part of my story with the therapist. Because sometimes, those things you go through, I would say trauma, they kind of sneak back sometimes. And sometimes you have triggers that brings back those memories, and that is why I'm sharing my story today. If you are a woman that has gone through anything like this or similar, the first step sometimes is to share the story. And as I said, sharing this story today was not easy. It's something I've gone back and forth for many years. Like, you want to share it to more people, more people, more women. As I said, I've shared this story with some few people, but starting this podcast, and it's something that I thought, okay, maybe I will not share it, but something at the same time I have been feeling the calling that I should share the story. And I'm sharing this story that if you're a woman that has gone through trauma or anything, it is something to not to be swept under the carpet. It needs to be addressed. And how could you address them? Getting a counselor, doing therapy helps a lot. Finding a support group that can help. Those are things I believe could help. For me, the things as I've mentioned so far, my faith, the support I've gotten from my family, my parents, especially my mom, those things have helped me through. And then over time, as I said, being an adult, I have tried to do some of the therapies as well. And here I am today, some of those things are things that can scar somebody. And it's something that one still might need to go through healing. But, finding the right source for help makes the healing even better. And it's something that what I want to talk about too is that you can change your mess into the message. We should be, more women need to share their story, because sharing your story helps other women to know that they are not alone. Because I know there are so many people that might have gone through what I went through, in different ways, maybe a close friend or from relatives or anything with different stuff. And sometimes these things are not shared because maybe the woman feels ashamed, guilty, or people tell them, or their close people in their lives tell them that they shouldn't share the story, it should just be kept as a secret. And the thing keeps biting them inside. I actually, would say I feel relieved that I'm sharing this story. It's something that I've been heavy. This is one part that a lot of you don't know. But I am surviving, I am thriving. I have gone over the years, done a lot of personal development to help myself. It is something I highly recommend. Different things happen in your lives that you have to find a way to overcome them. Because we are meant for more. And so I'll go forward to some of my health issues I would say I have kind of dealt with. I know I would say I'm a pretty healthy person. So one of the significant thing I would say with things with my health. So after having my fourth child, I would say I gained a lot of weight. I mean, with all my kids, I've always felt that, I have to give birth to them. I lost the weight, it goes away. But then when I had my fourth kid, it was a challenge. I gained maybe 50 or 55 pounds over. And then after I had him, it was difficult to lose that weight. So anyway, I, struggled so much. And so I found this program that, which kind of started sparking my interest in alternative form of medicine and not just Western medicine. which was what I was originally trained as a nurse practitioner. And so I would say in 2016, towards the end of 2016, I found this program, and there was opportunity for me to train as a health coach. So I wanted to try the program on myself before I become a health coach. So I went ahead, did the program, great success, and I decided to become a health coach in the program. And throughout that program, I think I lost maybe almost 45 pounds. Felt really good with myself, with my health. But then I've always been dealing with GI problems, multiple GI problems. And this is one thing anytime I go to my doctor's office, and even now looking at all my medical records, you will see that I have always been complaining of GI problems, abdominal pain or abdominal something with that area. And it was just going on, even though I went through that program that I lost weight. Yes, I lost weight, but my GI was not still well. And so it was kind of a combination of different things happening back and forth, because being a healthcare provider, a nurse practitioner, I was one of those kind of people that I wasn't really comfortable writing prescriptions all the time for my patients. I felt there should be a better way. But I didn't, wasn't able to think, what is that better way? I was always, educating the patient. I love nutrition. So I was always teaching them nutrition. So I was always studying nutrition stuff on my own, because I didn't think they taught us enough of that in school. And so I was also at the same time feeling like I'm getting tired of the profession, because I was feeling like I wasn't helping my patients enough. Like, am I going to just be giving them medication? What else am I going to be doing with these people? Of course, there were some people getting results, and some people I just felt like the list of medications, prescription medicine is increasing and they're not getting better. So I was in that state, and then have to deal with other things, insurance, giving you a lot of patients, not having enough time to really know what's going on. So all that frustration and everything. And then with my own health, the doctors or my healthcare providers not able to figure out what is going on with me, all this frustration. And so in 2018, I started doing my research. I probably already started doing my research, but then I got interested in what you call functional medicine. I think I saw one lady that who eventually became my functional medicine provider, and I probably will be inviting her for this my show to come here. We can know more about her. I think I was following her on Facebook and all that, and I saw things she was talking about, this functional medicine. And I've seen some other people talk about it, and for hers, kind of, I got attracted to her own story, the program she was doing and all that. And I contacted her and said, I wanted to do this. This is what's going on with me. Would you be able to help me? Because I don't think anybody has been able to help me the way I needed to be helped. And she was very confident that she was going to be able to help me. I went through it, and I was blown away by the care, by the all the things she asked me, all the things we had to go through, what she discovered. This is something I had never seen any of my providers done for me. And I was sold. And I told her, I love this way of medicine. Is this functional medicine? I love this way of medicine. I want to be your client, and I want to learn how to do this kind of medicine. And so I became her client, and in that process, I registered for a school, the School of Applied Functional Medicine. And as I was taking care of my own health, I was learning this way of medicine. And that's got me into believing that I still want to be in the health field, but now in another way, that there's another way which I have been looking for to be able to take care of my clients, take care of my patients. And in few months, I started seeing all the changes that happened in my health because, I went in because I had GI problems. That was my issue, my big, big issue. But then eventually I found out that I had an autoimmune disease. We call it Hashimoto's, which is autoimmune disease of the thyroid. Although mine was not a severe case, but it could have been. Probably I didn't find that lady, that my functional medicine provider at that time. So I was able to get back I could feel that healing in my body. As I said, before that time, I had lost 45 pounds, which helped me. But again, I started getting back and forth with my weight and then, getting on and off fatigue. So there was something still missing and I needed to do more. I needed more in my body. And so this functional medicine, of course, is digging into the root cause of diseases, looking at the whole person. And so it helped me. Within 6 months, I could see that difference I haven't seen in years in my health. And there's one thing about your physical health. When you get your physical health in order, it helps with your mental health. Two, if you help your mental health, it helps with your physical health. So it kind of go back and forth. And so I started seeing this change. It's like I felt like I see another part of life, And fast forward now, I have a practice for functional medicine. It's an online practice for women that I'm the owner of it. And just looking forward to help as many women out there, because a lot of people have given up that in their health. But now I'm happy that I learned this because it has helped me, help my family, help the people around me, as many people that are trying to let them know about this. So, I'm sharing the story of my life, pretty much, of how I have come to be where I am. And want to tell you that, as a woman, you are very special. Women are special. I mean, we're emotional beings, we're strong, but we need lots of support as well. And when a woman is empowered, I think the world will be a better place. All these things I am doing, I am also doing it for my children. And that is one way you should look at what you're doing. It's like, don't give up, stay strong, seek for those opportunities to keep on being a better version of yourself. Because whatever you're doing, your children are watching. I have 3 daughters, and I know whatever I'm doing to empower myself is empowering them. Even if you have a son, it's not even a daughter, they are watching and they will be a better son, or when they become, a husband, they'll be a very good husband to their wife. It's all comes around. We are meant for more. One of the things that I say I'm proud of And this is one of the questions I will ask my guests, all my guests that come, that what are you proud of as a woman today? The thing I'm proud of is that I am able to use my voice, use my talents, my skills that God has given me, that I'm not hiding it. That is one thing I'm very proud of. And if you are somebody that you feel like you don't know what your purpose in this earth is, or you feel like you don't have a purpose, then you should look for it. And how do you find it? Maybe hiring a mentor, hiring a life coach, or, because when I hear people say, I don't have a purpose, it kind of breaks me like, no, of course you do have a purpose. And this is what I tell my kids too as well. Everybody in this world has a purpose. It's just that maybe you have not found it. You have to have a purpose. You do have a purpose. If you are living and breathing, you have a purpose. You don't want to be in this world and don't use your skills, don't use your talents that God has given you, just living your life like that. No, that's not a life to live. Let's use it. They said, is it life is short? Well, we don't know when will be our last time. So we need to make use of our gifts, our talents, as much as we can. You see, some few years ago, I don't know now, maybe it's 3 years, I believe, I lost one of my friends. She would have been 41 today. She would have been 41 this year. She died while she was having her baby. She left behind 2 young kids and a husband. And her death, it really touched me, hit me hard. We were in college together in Nigeria. We went to college together and all that. We graduated at the same time. And but one thing I was happy about her life was that she was somebody that lived life. Sometimes I would tell some of my friends that we all know her that maybe she felt she was not going to live long. I don't know, maybe she knew. But the amount of things she has done in her life is amazing. She has achieved so much, or she achieved so much. And, she was purposeful in her life. She used everything I think she believed she had. It was painful, but it gave me another perspective in life that, wow, we never know when will be our last time. Let's do as much as we can. Let's don't waste any time. Let's use our skills. Know your purpose. Seek for opportunities to do the very best in this world. Love, forgive, give. So I am happy to be starting this podcast. I feel it's going to be a blessing to many of you out there. and having all these women come to share their stories and give as many golden nuggets to you guys. You know, one of my favorite quotes is a quote from Maya Angelou, and you will be hearing it in all parts of the show, each episode. It's, when you know better, you do better. And it's a quote that I never knew when I was very little, but over the years, I have kind of kept that quote to myself. That helps me through. And my guests, I'll be asking them their favorite quotes. So we're going to be learning a lot from that. I love quotes. They are something that I feel it helps to keep us going, keep us motivated. So when you know better, you do better. So one of the things about learning from that quote is that sometimes we don't want to beat ourselves, like, oh, how come I didn't know to do something, or blame somebody that why they didn't know that this is how they should do something, because they didn't know any better. So if they know better, I am sure they will do better. If you know better, I'm sure you will do better. So that's it. Ooh. Thank you guys for tuning in for this episode today. And I'll be seeing you again next time. Take care. When you know better, you do better. Bye-bye.